Alright, quick warning before we start this episode. Unfortunately, I downloaded an update from NVIDIA and it messed with some of my settings, and I didn't realize it until we got into the game and started filming. So this episode, the look is going to be a little bit off, but I did fix it. And in the next episode, it'll be back to looking nice and pretty. Sorry about that. Enjoy. Alrighty, everybody, welcome in another Ark episode. I did a couple things. I stayed on a lot later after Jane logged and leveled up some, got us to where we needed to be, and then some, sort of, which I'll explain here in a minute.
Hello and welcome in.
Alright, so as you can probably see looking down at Jane, the saddle on Spike has been painted and my torches are glowing blue. And we're standing on a white roof. And that's because I painted a whole bunch of stuff. And I originally just wanted to make several of the primary color dyes, black, red, blue, just so we had some basic paint to mess around with. It's not too hard to make, and you can make the basic paints really easily in Ark Survival Evolved. However, in Ark Survival Ascended, it's how should I put this? It's insanely easy to make paints. And I will walk you through that process, but kind of just taking a look at it. The house is blue, painted blue. It's like a very light blue, because anything else, if you put on wood or thatch, if you put any kind of dark paint, it gets just super dark. Like if you put a dark blue on this, it basically looks like navy blue or black. So you have to go with super light colors on the wood and on the thatch to make it show up. But if you do so, like the white steps, if you look in here, it helps brighten up the room and make it so you can actually see. And I went with blue. You can paint the fire. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. You can paint the fire in the torches. And whenever you do that, it obviously makes it glow whatever color it is. And you can't make it glow straight white, which I tried because a white light would be the best, because it's, it doesn't give you that golden, like campfire light where it has that tinge to it. It makes it kind of hard to see, which is nice. It kind of keeps realism, but I mean, you're burning green and blue flames. I wish you could do it white. You can't. So I went with blue because red and stuff like that is just so over dramatic and can be aggressive towards your eyes after a while. And I was on for a while the other night, as you can see from all the paint. The paint takes seconds to craft. Let's put it that way. I didn't mean to craft the paint, but we're going to look in the paint boxes, because now we have two paint boxes. Here's one completely filled with 90 different colors, and then here's the overflow with the paintbrush. So when you use the cook pot to make any kind of paint, there is an auto craft system. Unless you wanted to craft all paints that it is capable of painting when you put berries in, do not click that. I made that mistake. Previously, in the last expansion, whenever you would do that, it would only craft, each one of these water skins could craft 5 paints. So it took one water skin to do 5 paint or 10 paints, but you couldn't get much out of these water skins. That's why I have so many in here, and then I was also using the one I have on me. In this one, it only takes a small percentage. One of these water skins can probably make 1,000 paints. I did not know that. So I went out to, I was looking for levels so I could get enough for the pterodon saddle and all that good stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll do some farming. I upgraded our bottom floor to wood, and didn't have enough to upgrade everything. With farming wood still sucks, because I basically have to do it by hand because none of our animals can collect it. So I went out on the trike and I was cutting down trees, and then I would use the trike to clear the brush around it to make sure I get all the berries, and come back and I was like, okay, I have all these extra berries. So I took basically 1,000 stack of each color berry, put it in this cook pot on auto craft with 5 water skins, and just left autocraft run and walked away for 5 minutes. And it crafts when it's on autocraft, it crafts 8 to 12 different colors at a time. It doesn't craft one color until its completion and then skip to the next one. No. it selects all of the paints it can make with the current mats available, and it begins crafting those as many as possible at the same time. So I came back, and there basically we have the rainbow going on, which is cool, but it was not my intention. And then once I had all that, and I was staying on, in this game you actually level passively, which is really nice. So if you just stay on for 4 hours, you're gonna slowly see down in the bottom right hand corner that gem. You're gonna see that gem start to go up from doing nothing but just existing. But like me, like I said, I upgraded this bottom floor, so I was farming some mats, and then I made a second bridge down here for the thatch, just so we can ride our trikes across without having to get off. And I painted everything, got all of the torches painted, made it all look good, and that took me, 3-4 hours to do. And during that time, I was gaining passive leveling, and now I'm way beyond where I expected to be. I'm at level 56 right now, so I'm really close. We can obviously, I already crafted 2 pterodon saddles, so they're ready to go. We'll go get some of those today.
He also, when I log out, my body just lays there on the floor, and I wake up to all new weapons inside of my body, like axes, pickaxe, and then new painted clothing on.
Yeah, hers is like a cayenne, like a teal. I went with like a light baby blue.
It's my favorite color.
I like blue. Blue and white looks really nice, especially I like a light blue and white. But like a cool, like how it feels, like how, that's one of the reasons, like if it was all red flame around here, it would be very, it would look cool, but it would be very aggressive, especially for your eyes after a certain amount of time. So to do painting, I grabbed the paintbrush, and this is how it works in new Ark. You have a paintbrush. All the paints you have don't go actually into your inventory. So you go to your cosmetics, and this is where all of your paint is listed. Now over here you'll see it says allowed items. This is the items your paints are essentially going to search for over here. So if you wanted to do armor, now it's looking at armor in my inventory. I'll throw a couple weapons in here too to make it easy. Okay, so now it's searching for armor. So all of the armor that's in my inventory, my chest and legs that I took off, I can now drop over here. And to paint it, your things that are one solid color, it is drag and drop. So if I drop this red paint over to my hat, it's only one color, my hat's gonna change. Whenever you are doing like with pants or something that is multicolor, that has multiple colors in it, when you drag and drop the paint, it takes you into the painting interface, and then you can change each little thing individually. And different outfits obviously have different things you can change. On this, it's the chest, like the chest ties that go around your shoulders and your chest. And you can change it to whatever colors you have will be listed down here. And you can search them by name if you know it. If you hit Q, it'll actually show you the names of what you have. So if you want to go make more, you can. But then all you got to do is do that, click apply the paint, it will apply it to the section you want, and move on, and you have yourself a nice painted character. The same thing works with weapons. There we go. For some reason that wasn't registering. Bug, Ark bug. But you do the same thing you do with clothes, you drag it over. There's different sections, you can paint the sections how you want to. If you hold control and left click, you can move the item around and drag it so you can look at it. And whenever it comes to painting, okay, so whenever you're going to paint something, you click on it, but your paintbrush does work different. I forgot about this element of it, which kind of sucks. So you want to make sure you have extra paints, or don't switch the paint over, because much like if you were painting in real life, if you wanted to switch colors, you'd have to wash the brush completely. When you pick a color to paint with your paintbrush, whatever color you pick will now go on your brush, and you have to use that all or destroy that paint. Like if I don't use this at all, it has 98%. If I were to switch to red, I would lose that 98% and it would go to 0, and then I would have to repaint it. So Like when you're doing sections, that's actually, I missed this. This wasn't painted white underneath. Yeah, all these are painted, so I just missed that one. That's not bad. Whole place, probably find a couple more. But to paint your torches, much the same thing. Left click on it, brings up the interface. The first option when you're dealing with torches is the color of the flame, and it won't show it to you until you actually apply it. So we're going to apply red, and then we're going to apply red flame, and now it glows red. You can see what I mean? It still looks cool, but having an entire area lit up like that, that would be a thing. Looked at green. Green was nice, but I preferred the blue. I like blue. We're going with blue.
I like blue too.
Alright. So that's essentially how we have a painted castle now. And you don't get much for crafting the paints as far as XP, but you do get something. So that's something to think about with how easy it is to craft paints if you're just sitting somewhere idle and you have nothing better to do and you have a ton of berries. Because like once you have a triceratops or something that can farm them, you go out for 5 minutes and the dinosaur's over encumbered with berries. So they will not be in any shortage. If you have a couple water skins, then you have a lot of pretty easily farmable XP. And then you put this back, this over, and then you have to go into your cosmetics. And then if you want to dump them in this bin, you will press, you could either drag and drop them over or press T. And I just usually use T because it's faster. That is the when, where, and why of everything being painted. And you can't see it in here, but like I even painted the fires. There we go. So the rocks are black around the base, and then the wood is actually red to give it a cool look. But this is what boredom does to you in Ark. This right here, you end up with a completely painted house that's partially upgraded. Like if I had spent as much time on painting it as going out and farming wood, we would have a completely wooden house. But painting was more fun, so. Then we got all our dinosaurs. Everybody's now mature that we picked up the other day. I don't have enough saddles for everybody. We're short a trike saddle for the third wheel, which is the baby of Jane's, who we got when we tamed that one. Babies start at whatever level you get them. So it's better to find a higher level baby, but any free dinosaur that you can just grab is a good dinosaur. So Jane's automatically leveled up because we were using purple berries, and when you tame an animal, you get credit for the taming effectiveness of the food you use. So hers automatically went up a few levels, which was nice, you know, starting with we thought that was going to be our highest level 1, and then I went after him because why not? We needed to anyway. And I didn't want to ride third wheel. Sorry, third wheel. We like you, but, I mean, we like you more when you're not there. Sorry. That was mean. I'm sorry. I feed you. You can't bite me. But then we had these two, which were just add-ons from the chaos up top, which was really nice. This one is named Puppy, which is from Camp Cretaceous, which is a cartoon our daughter watches.
She picked the name when she saw it on his screen last night, and I couldn't figure out what it was from until today, and I realized it was the Jurassic World cartoon. So we have Bumpy.
And then Fever. I don't know, cat scratch, fever. I was looking for something creative and just swung and missed, and that's the way it's going to stay. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you hit a home run, sometimes you end up with fever. That's just what happens. Jane has a mosh chops, was roaming around.
He came up onto the base because he was getting chased by Dilos, and Joe went and killed the Dilos, and I made of moss chops.
Yeah, they're really easy to tame. If you can find these, they don't fight. If you get into a fight and you are not on them, they are going to run away like a scared little chicken. They will not defend you for any reason whatsoever, ever. They are just going to get eaten to death. But you can make them attack if you're riding them, and they actually are decent. They have decent melee damage for what they are. So, I mean, they're as good as a raptor, essentially, or anything like that. But they're super easy to tame because they're passive. So you just put whatever food they want in your last slot and use that. Sometime, like most of the time, they just want berries. Like he wanted Miju berries and Titano berries, and he was tamed in 2 berries.
And the best thing about a moss chops is you don't need a saddle, and they're really good for berries and like the thatch.
Yeah, they'll collect the same thing that the trikes will. They're not as good defensively, obviously, because a trike will fight. If something wants to fight, a trike ain't saying no. But moss chops are cowards, but like they're good for collecting berries. And like I said, they're super easy to tame, unless sometimes they'll want like a rare flower or cooked meat, cooked prime meat, or some stupid shit. But usually where there's one, there's a couple, and one of them's gonna want a berry. And then coming over, we got our ankly. I only had enough to make 1 saddle. I said that before we were in the last episode, that we weren't gonna have enough for saddles for everybody. I chose to make 1 for the cat, even though we only have 1 cat. This thing isn't great for fighting or anything, but I can run out, kill dodos to farm hide, which makes my life a whole lot easier. But now that the sun's starting to come up, you can actually see the color on the house. And actually see how blue it actually is here. And like I said, part of it's because it's like a wood, so what you're putting it on is darker to begin with, so any color you put on is going to get darker. With all the stuff I was able to get done last night, we do have 2 pterodon saddles. We both have like 100 tranks or 100, or I think I have 140.
I have 153 trank arrows.
And I have 140 something. Which is way overkill for what we're going to do.
Something Joe didn't touch on, there's a feeding trough he also put down. So the idea of it is just we can put food down, and like when you place it, there's like a perimeter that gets placed so you can see like the zone it covers, and you can just put all the food in there and it will feed all the dinosaurs. Like they'll eat out of it instead of having to just keep stuff in their inventory. We always try to keep stuff in their inventory so when we go out to feed them, or when we go out, we don't have to worry about it.
Okay, so what she was talking about, the range, I just activated that. If you go into the menu, you can turn it on. And it shows you anything within this sphere up to basically that top area up there. So if you have flyers or something, anything within this green area will be able to eat off of it. Wild animals can't eat off of it. So it's not like it will attract animals to come over for a free meal. That doesn't happen. It's just your animals that are in here, and it doesn't have to be specific. Like right now I have a ton of berries and some meat. And the meat is obviously for the cat. And the moss chops can eat it too. But usually they eat berries once they're tamed. And then all the other trikes and everything will eat those berries. And we no longer have to worry about putting food in their inventories. Just makes it easier. It's quality of life. I totally forgot I even crafted that thing. Do you have a bola?
Yes, I have a bola, but did you steal my water skin?
No.
Okay, it just wasn't letting me pull it out to fill it.
Accusing me of stealing your water skin? This is what I get. I stay up all night, paint the house and your outfit, and then I'm accused of a water skin theft.
I didn't know if you needed
I
it
tell
for your
you,
paint.
the things I have to put up with. Alright, so we are in the market for a couple of pterodons. We want to get the highest level we can. We ain't settling for no 60s. It looks really grainy today for some reason. I don't know what that is off in the distance there. It's looking extremely grainy. I just did a NVIDIA update today. So now I probably have to go in and change every single one of my settings for some reason. Because as much as NVIDIA is good at stuff, they are horrifically terrible at software. Their hardware is great. Their cards work and work well, but their software is written by fucking the monkeys in cages or something. Like, I don't understand how a multi-billion-dollar company can have so many errors in its mainline products.
That was a very nice compliment you gave.
I mean, I don't know. I can't be nice whenever they're not. Like, I'm struggling here. If this was year one, I would be like, okay. But when everybody knows your company and has known your company for 30 years and they know what the problem's going to be, come on. Like, just improve that aspect of your company. It's not undoable. AMD is great at that. They're so much better. You don't get an update every 3 days. And the problem with NVIDIA doing that is they don't have really good, I guess, quality assurance on their software side. So inevitably, when they drop one of those patches twice a week or twice every two weeks or whatever, once a week. But whenever they're dropping that many of them, you're bound to something's going to slip through and just cause problems like this, where nothing has changed on my computer since the last time I have played it. Literally nothing. I have changed no settings. I have done absolutely zero to the game except update drivers, which you're supposed to do. And now I look off in the distance and it looks like I'm looking in the Xbox era. Like now you can actually see it over there. Like, it's actually, look at that. It's like clearing up. It's just friggin' ridiculous, man. Couple dilos to our right. A little tunnel area that could serve as a good base. Be very defensible in there.
Yeah. I don't think we'd have enough room for our village.
Oh no, this would be good. This would be a good place for a base. This guy even got like a built-in platform up there. Alright, I see a turtle up here. Oh, I see one off in the distance. Make sure you switch to trank arrows.
Or are we just getting it no matter what the level is?
To 94. Yep, we're having it. Doesn't take much for a pterodon. Oh, if you hold down right trigger, you can do the charge. Which also slows people. Okay, that's cool. This turtle's tough as shit.
When you did the charge, did you happen to see if the red heart did anything?
I did not.
Yeah, it's a rage meter.
Okay, cool. So if you hold that in till your rage is completely full, and then run over like that dodo. Okay. All right, there we go. I'm not gonna name them. This is actually gonna be Jane's, unless we get like a cooler looking one that she likes. But this is actually kind of like a Keller setup she really likes with the blue, light blue, teal. That's why I painted her cayenne. So, do you want to ride Spike whistle your Triceratops to follow, and I am going to take this guy and find us a second
Okay.
pterodon in the nearby area, and we are flying in Ark. Those shadows are awful. This one's a good decent level to start. The only thing with these are they are very soft. They're not good in combat. Aerial combat, they can be pretty good because they can fly fast. But you have to watch their stamina. That's their weakness because they can't carry a lot of weight and they don't have a lot of stamina. So those two things combined are the Achilles heel. But they're a good bird for getting around. They're really fast. Good part about having a birdie. It'll be all building stuff. Ha! Saddles. Nice. Saddles we actually need too. We got a Dia Dicarus saddle and Ascendant Ankylosaur saddle. So we'll have another saddle for them, and then a couple blueprints, one for a chest piece and one for a mammoth saddle. Alrighty, we are back at the castle. As you can see it during the day, a lot more blue. It's still kind of dark. I wish it was a little bit lighter, but it looks pretty good in the daylights. Gonna actually park these guys up top now. Alrighty, now that we're back at the house, I am gonna shut it down. Unfortunately, if you look, it just doesn't look right. I gotta go through the settings real quick. I wanted this to be a little bit longer of an episode and get a couple pterodons so we can move forward. Unfortunately, Ark had other plans like it normally does, and something is just going on with my graphics, and it is just not good. So I'm gonna have to go through, sort that out, and we'll get back at it in the next one. But thank you all for joining us.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe.